Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Buenas noches, Arlington. Soy Daniela Pineda.
My name's Adele Quo.
Buenas noches. Gracias, Señor Pineda.
Absolutely.
I'll gain some cross-cultural
Here we go with our
viewers.
post-Snowmageddon pre-Valentine's Day show for 2016. Hard to believe February is already underway, and our post Groundhog Day show for 2016.
Oh yeah, early
as well.
spring, right?
What was the verdict?
Puxatawny Phil.
Early
But he
spring.
did not see his shadow.
Yeah, he did not see his shadow.
So I
It's
guess
gonna be
they say in early spring,
Early
but we
spring.
still have
That's what we
February to
want.
get through. So, you know, we may have Snowmageddon Part 2 here before it's all over. Who knows? But, well, we have, you know, the usual sort of stuff here on our show here tonight. News and Community Bulletin Board. Adele is here with...
It's easy being green.
Green, indeed it is. Our news for seniors, Miriam, our very own Miriam Gennari is here with a couple of interviews, and that's our show. But before we go, a social media reminder from my part.
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, and also facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News.
All right, check us out on the small tube. All right, thank you, Daniel. Gracias, Señor Pineda. Here we go, the first of our news items. Well, we begin with news of an attempted burglary. A man in a ski mask tried to rob a woman on her way home. The 29-year-old woman was walking near Carlin Springs Road and Leesburg Pike at around 4 a.m. on Sunday, January 31st, and a man about 6 feet in height, black, wearing a ski mask, approached her. He tried to take her cell phone, but she fought back. I then cut her with a sharp-edged object and ran off. The woman suffered minor injuries. If you have any information about this robbery attempt, contact Arlington County Police. They'd like your help on this one. 703-558-2222. Daniel.
Well, Craig, the World Health Organization has declared that the Zika virus a global emergency. And as of this show's taping, it has only been identified in the Americas and the Caribbean, with only 7 cases in the U.S. However, 2 cases were identified in Virginia. Authorities claim that the affected Virginians are not infectious. Zika is a mosquito-borne disease that can cause fever, rash, joint pain, and conjunctivitis. Although symptoms usually recede within days or weeks and hospitalization is rare, it is of grave concern for women in their childbearing years. Zika has been linked to microcephaly, a severe birth defect associated with abnormally small heads and brains, seizures, vision, hearing, and balance problems, trouble speaking and eating, and intellectual disabilities. Visit cdc.gov to learn more about Zika. Correct.
All right, Daniel. Well, in the next of our news items, did you know that the first self-driving vehicle to be taken on a major public highway was tested here in Arlington along I-395? One of the car test drivers, Virginia Senator Mark Warner, believes that Arlington is set up to be a leader in emerging and game-changing field of automated systems. As part of the county's push to attract more tech companies, Arlington Economic Development participated in the Consumer Electronics Show, the CES, for the first time this year. AED staff went to CES 2016 in January for a couple of reasons, according to their website, to learn more about the environments where technology innovation flourishes and showcase Arlington as a home for technology. Some of Arlington's high-profile technology and tech innovation-oriented companies included Software Technologies O-Power, the newest branch of 1776, and Tech Shop. So technology is here to stay. Daniel.
Well, Craig, in addition to their work on the county board, the Arlington County Board members are involved in several regional projects. Here are some key commissions you may find interesting. New member Christian Dorsey will work with Metro and the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments. Crystal, who is also new, will be with VRE's Operations Board. Fizette will work with various transportation groups in addition to Climate and Environmental Policy Committee. Vistad is also focusing on transportation and the environment as is Libby Darby. Craig.
All right, Daniel, and we'll be back with our CBB file right after we hear from Adele Quo, and
It's easy
being green.
Here's Adele.
Welcome, Arlingtonians, to It's Easy Being Green. Just a little over a year after Arlington County killed the Columbia Pike streetcar program back in late November 2014, now the Arlington County Board voted unanimously in favor of studying the feasibility of aerial gondolas gliding over the Potomac between Roslyn and Georgetown along the Key Bridge. Despite some doubts about the viability of the proposal, Arlington County Board members agreed to join a consortium and allocate $35,000 in taxpayer dollars towards the feasibility study, with an estimated total cost upwards of $250,000. While some officials are not fully convinced of the forward-thinking suburban planning that is necessary for smart growth, Arlington's current population is 216,700 and is projected to reach more than 283,000 by 2040. Keeping an open mind is a big step forward when trying to move big-ticket transportation projects forward. The need for some kind of transportation improvement is not in dispute. With no Metro Rail station in Georgetown and none likely for decades, getting from Roslyn to Georgetown usually entails a drive or walk over the Key Bridge or a bus trip. The Key Bridge between Roslyn and Georgetown is the most heavily used bike and pedestrian sidewalk in Arlington, and the road carries over 50,000 vehicles per day. A quick look reveals an urban gondola system potentially could reduce auto use and the congestion and pollution that comes with it. It could serve as a large activity node and connect to Roslyn Metro Station. So our mascot here, Joe Tree Frog, wonders if the aerial gondolas, which could be a solution, could also become part of the problem. It does take a lot of energy to run the popular people-moving machines. So let's see what happens to the plan that the study will be completed by October 22nd, 2016. No longer just a mode of transportation for skiers to reach the mountain peaks, join Easy Being Green next week to investigate the growing list of American cities with successful aerial trams and those cities that are seriously exploring urban gondolas as part of their traffic management plans. And remember, it's Easy Being Green supporting sustainable transportation projects. Interesting vote, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Here's an item to add to your list of excuses why you were late to work. I got hung up on the gondola.
Exactly.
We were attacked by a quadcopter and whatever. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Well, it
Something crazy, but who knows?
it could happen.
Could happen.
Could happen. All right. Thank you, Adele. We
Thank you, Adele.
appreciate your Easy Being Green segments as always. Here we go. As promised, now our CBB, or Community Bulletin Board file. Well, February, yes, we're in February, brings us 1 month closer to tax time. Get a head start on Arlington Public Library. Free tax assistance began on Tuesday, February 2nd, and it'll run through April 14. AARP tax assistance volunteers will be on hand Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Central Library. For more information and details, give them a call. Number should be on your screen there, 703-829-6192. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Columbia Pike Branch Library will also provide free tax assistance. Walk-ins can visit on Tuesdays from 1:15 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. A note on both Central and Columbia Pike Branch locations, Spanish-speaking volunteers will be on hand, and you can get your own tax forms since the IRS no longer provides them to the library. Craig.
No more paper forms from
Right.
the IRS. The Paper Reduction Act of whatever is well underway. Here we go. The next of our CBB items. If you're planning summer camp activities for your youngsters in the family, you may want to consider video camp. Well, Arlington Independent Media, our very own AIM, has opened registration for their 2016 video production camp. The camp will run Mondays through Fridays from 8:30 to 4:30. The first session begins June 27 and ends 2 weeks later, July 8th. Session number 2 opens on July 25 and ends August 8th. You can learn more about the the summer video camps at www.arlingtonmedia.org. That sounds like a good one. Daniel.
Well, Craig, I think we're going on to Miriam Gennari, right?
Is Miriam next?
Yes.
Okay, we'll be back with our News for Seniors file right after we hear from Miriam and her guest. Here's Miriam.
Hi, and welcome back to the Sustainable Scoop, continuing with how art can somehow express different things that happen in the world, and shining a light on history are these lovely Yorktown ladies who are here to talk to us today about a play called Girls Who Glow. And joining me is Aryn Geier, Lexie Lounsbury, and Nicole Redifer. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, Aryn, let's start with you. Tell me why this is an important program for people to know about.
I think that the reason that this play is so significant is because it's based on a completely true story that nobody knows about. You know, people go to history classes and they have no idea that this ever happened. That during World War I, all of these young women would go to these watch dial painting factories to help the workforce, and they would paint these tiny little numbers on the clocks with glow-in-the-dark paint so that the soldiers could see them in the trenches. And they were taught to lick their paintbrushes straight, and they had no idea that they were being poisoned every single day of their lives by just trying to support their families. And then it's so important because these women continued to fight against this extremely sexist capitalist society that really just wanted to put them down, but they still were able to overcome that.
Oh, I cast you for my next show. That was fantastic, and I agree, and I love the passion you bring. Now, Lexie, talk to me a little bit about the passion that you feel at the Yorktown Theater and what your other students perform and do when you're there.
Well, actually, our art director, Carol Cadby, who's not with us today, but she's a really integral part of our program. She's been developing this curriculum for 20-odd years, and it's based off a conservatory style of theater, which would normally be for college-age kids, but I think it's really special that she trusts adolescents to take the reins and experience a higher level of theater education, really giving them the chance that they might not otherwise get in a high school theater environment.
Oh, thank you very much. And Nicole, for this particular performance, Girls Who Glow, Aryn touched on it a little bit, but how is this story significant today?
Well, the playwright Ginny Moeller, who was actually also a Yorktown graduate, she said she was going to add in a scene at one point that's talked about how the main character, Catherine, corresponded with someone from the modern time, and the person from the modern time was talking, how could you not know that it wasn't poisonous? It was glowing. And then the main character, Catherine, goes, well, you put your phone up to your head every single day, and do you think that isn't going to hurt you, that isn't going to kill you? So I feel like that is incredibly accurate and can be very applicable to this time period. And also with the government trying to cover some things up, such as what's happening in Flint, Michigan right now with the water poisoning, and for so long people were saying, this doesn't exactly seem right, this seems poisonous, and the government tried to cover it up, and eventually it happened.
Excellent point. I really do think that not only performing this, you ladies have taken this message to heart, and I certainly do hope that everyone will come to this final performance, February 11th. I can't believe it. It's free, so be there early. It's at 7 p.m. at Yorktown High School. They can meet all of you ladies, get your autographs, all right? And I want to thank all of you for allowing me to have the opportunity to interview such fantastic performers. I'm Miriam Gennari, and that's the Sustainable Scoop.
All right, thanks, Miriam.
Thank you, Miriam.
And talking to the girls from Yorktown and all about Girls Who Glow. Interesting. Got to check that out. Okay, thanks, Miriam. Here we go. As promised now, our News for Seniors segment. News for Seniors, glasses in place, and here we go. Well, stress and diet play an important role in how we function cognitively, particularly as we get older. Well, Nort Beckerman, author of A User's Guide to a Healthy Brain, will explain how and why this all works and what we can do to protect our cognitive abilities. This free program will be held at Walter Reed on Tuesday, February 9, 6:30 to 7:30 in the evening. For more information and to register, give them a call. Number should be on your screen there, 703-228-0955. Daniel.
Great event, and it's free.
It's free.
Well, Craig, Cajun cooking is packed with flavor and celebration. Learn to savor the festive flavor in a healthy way. Virginia Cooperative Extension Center demonstrates a nutritious version of traditional Cajun cooking for you to taste, along with recipes for you to make at home. This free program, yes, another free program, is on Monday, February the 8th from 11 in the morning to noon at Langston Brown Senior Center. Just give them a call at 703-228-6300 for more information and to reserve your spot. Craig.
And also in our News for Seniors file, are your adult kids responsible for you? Well, you may be surprised to find out that there's a Virginia law that requires adult children to be legally responsible for their parents. It sounds like it's related to just age, but it is not. Learn more about this little-known Virginia law from Meredith McKay. She's an attorney who works with Northern Virginia Legal Services, and that'll take place at Lee Senior Center on Tuesday, February 9 from 1 to 2 in the afternoon. For more information and to register, give them a call at Lee Senior Center, 703, numbers on your screen there, 228-0555. Daniel.
Well, Craig, your hearing affects memory and learning. It's a sensor that receives information. It's important to keep your hearing in good shape. As we age, hearing can become a problem. Get your hearing checked for free by the Northern Virginia Resource Center, the area's leading nonprofit to identify and assist people with hearing loss. They don't sell anything, but they can be helpful in providing information about available hearing assets. This all takes place at Walter Reed Senior Center on Wednesday, that's February the 10th, from 10 in the morning until noon. Give them a call at 703-228-0955 for more information and to reserve your space. And of course, Craig, we want to thank our own Judy Masami.
Thanks, Judy.
Thank you so much, Judy, for everything.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll be back with a few words of goodbye if we have time, right after we hear from Miriam again and her guests from Mosaic Theater. Here's Miriam.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. We talk about issues around the world and creating sustainable communities, but truly nothing is sustainable unless you can create peace. And one of the people here who is using art to help create peace around the world is Ari Roth. Ari is an actor, he's a producer, he's a director. He is also the founder of Mosaic Theater, and I'm a huge fan. Welcome, Ari.
Thank you.
Now, for those of you, for our viewers that are familiar with your work at Theater J,
Right.
They're probably thrilled to know that you started Mosaic Theater. What was the motivation?
Well, it was really to continue the work that I so enjoyed doing for 18 years in Northwest DC, and to move a new troupe that was dedicated to socially relevant, transformative theater that would really touch on some of the most pressing issues of our time locally and globally. And we're in residence at the Atlas Performing Arts Center, 13th and H Street Northeast. And this has been our inaugural year. We have a big budget for a small startup and a staff of 10. We've got lots of people who are coming to see this first 8-play season.
And now we're going to talk a little bit about the play festival that you have coming up, but I just wanted to touch on some of the topics. What was his name? Peter Marks in the Washington Post reviewed your work on this current play, and he said that you are capturing an area in theater. It's your own territory of discussing conflicts and difficult, dark situations around the world. Tell me about that.
Well, you know, we see plays as an opportunity to build bridges between people who are divided. The theater becomes this great forum for bringing cultures, for bringing people from different backgrounds into conflict resolution through the experiencing of drama. We watch people entangled by difficulties, and the plays, in a sense, are a sorting out of the various conflicts to try to arrive at something close to a resolution.
And this, right now, it seems the world is full of conflict. And your festival is about voices from a changing Middle East.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about the festival.
Well, it's 16 years running, this festival. It began, again, at 16th and Q Street with plays that were looking at the drama within Israel and the Arab-Israeli conflict. And it's expanded to have an even broader focus. The festival now, as it's anchored on H Street at the Atlas, is looking at multiple perspectives on the same drama. You know,
But what you're really getting is the human, the experience.
Sure.
Like I Shall Not Hate, that particular
and
program.
that's what we're running now through February 14th. And it's such a unique story. It's based on the memoir of Izzeldin Abulaish, a doctor born in Gaza, educated in Cairo, who becomes such an extraordinary asset to his community, a fertility doctor. He's actually brought to Tel HaShomer Hospital in Israel to deliver babies there. He's in residence both in Tel Aviv and at the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza. And he leads this double life of bringing life into the world in both Palestine and Israel. So he's regarded as extraordinarily unique and valued, and yet he experiences tremendous loss. He loses his wife, he loses his daughters in a very upsetting situation.
And I think that's what marks this festival. It is not just the human aspect, but the real tragedies, ones that you can kind of put yourself in that particular situation and then recognize that we're all human. So I really want, heartfelt, to encourage our viewers to come and see the show. When is it playing?
Well, it's running now through February 14th. The festival keeps going. We moved to Woolly Mammoth Theater for 2 weeks for another play, and
Excellent.
then it goes through the end of April. But our little saying is, we make the case for hope in a polarized world. So we address the polarization, but we insist on the hope.
Well, I'm going to hope that all of our viewers will go to the mosaictheater.org website, get tickets for the entire festival. I certainly hope to see you there. Thanks so much, Ari Roth, for coming. Please come back again.
Great to be here.
That's a Sustainable Scoop. Back to the news desk.
All right, thanks, Miriam.
Thank you, Miriam.
Thanks,
Talking
Miriam.
with Ari Roth from Mosaic Theater. And we appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Okay, well, we're just about going to wrap it up here, but
the Super Bowl's coming
Super
up.
Bowl,
Yes.
Super Bowl
You ready
50.
for it?
Super Bowl 50 is
Big
coming up.
one.
Are you ready or not? Here it comes.
Who are you for?
Well, you always do that. To me.
I'm putting you on the spot now.
I'm for a good game,
Oh,
and I
God.
might be slightly leaning toward a certain Denver team.
Are you taking
I
the
don't
fifth?
know,
Are
but
you
They're
taking
the
the fifth?
underdog.
no, I'm not pleading the fifth. What
Adele, how about you?
What
And
about
Denver.
Denver.
No, my friends now are
Denver.
not going to be happy that I just said that out loud.
Ah,
My
well,
dad wants Denver, but I think I'm going to go with
It'd be
Carolina.
nice to see. Well, I kind of have that feeling too that maybe
yeah.
the Panthers are going to
But
win.
yeah,
it
I wanna
all.
see
I know. I do
But,
want to see.
They
Peyton
were doing
Manning
a
go
thing
out
on
well.
the
Me
fifth
too.
on the 50 greatest Super Bowl commercials last night on one of the networks.
I can't wait to see
And,
'em.
That was
They
always
ran it
fun.
down to the last two, and they had a vote. You could vote online,
Okay.
live online voting. And it was the kid who walks around with his remote trying to he was dressed in a Darth Vader outfit, trying to get things to work. Nothing worked, nothing works. And finally his father's in the kitchen with the remote to the Lexus. And he hits it and the car starts and the kid goes crazy. That was the semifinalist. And
Right.
another one was the Clydesdale
Of
horse. And
course.
Oh, yes, yes.
80% of the commercials were the Clydesdales. Budweiser does some
Love
great.
the Budweiser Clydesdale.
There's some
And
great
those are
commercials
actually
for the Super Bowl.
recent commercials, which
Yeah,
is
they are.
surprising.
Very
You would
recent,
think
yeah.
that the older ones, like the Budweiser with the frogs, would be one of the finalists.
What the? They had those guys on there.
Yeah, well,
It was a great show, and who was it? Boomer Esiason and Catherine McPhee were the hosts. But That was fun, fun
Yeah.
TV last
Should be
night.
fun game.
The commercials for a lot of people are the real deal. That's the only
Halftime.
thing
You got to
worth
figure out
watching.
what's going to happen halftime.
That's the only thing worth watching in the Super Bowl.
You know, if
Okay,
there's
well, I
any,
guess we've stretched about long
malfunctions.
enough. Anything else to add before we go, folks?
Beyonce will be part of the Super Bowl
Oh my
show.
goodness! And who's singing
right.
the anthem?
Oh, Lady Gaga.
Singing the
Oh,
anthem.
this
That
is
should
going to
be
be fun.
entertaining.
Be
Yep.
interesting.
Should be
So
good.
we'll see you after Super Bowl week next week. If you're there, we'll be here and we'll try to do it all again. Have a safe week. Happy Super Bowl. Bye-bye.